Yet another cold front is at the Western Cape today as the province battles widespread flooding, damage to infrastructure and roads. Thousands of people have been adversely affected, with many seeking shelter at community halls and churches. SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah is covering that story and joins us live. Vanessa, very dire conditions in the Western Cape. Just give us the latest.
Nzinga, yes, good afternoon to you. And for the first time in a few days, I must say, the sun has actually started peaking here in Rawsonville at the moment. Of course, this community in an informal settlement along the small blood riverbanks, they were completely washed away. Some of them lost their makeshift structures, and others are still at the informal settlement, of course, as flood waters receded, some people going back to try and see what they can salvage. Right now, I'm standing in front of the local church hall. This, of course, is where hundreds of families, about 300 families or so, have been evacuated to since the heavy downpours that lashed this region over the past few days. Relief efforts are ongoing, as well as humanitarian aid. Now, behind me in the hall, I know that the Gift of the Givers, who this morning came all the way from Cape Town with 3 trucks heavy laden with, among others, food parcels, baby goods, as well as mattresses. They, of course, have come to aid this community, and I'm joined now by Ali Sablay of the organisation Gift of the Givers. Ali, a dire situation inside here. I mean, we've spoken to some of the community members explaining to us the harrowing conditions that they have been experiencing since last week Wednesday, explaining to us how their houses flooded, they have young children. You've, of course, this is not the first or the only community that you have been assisting this past week. Just talk us through the kind of help that you are giving to this community of Rawsonville today.
You know, the Brederrivier municipality officials, the Brederrivier disaster risk management teams reached out to us last week and Wednesday, asking for our urgent assistance, as this particular community was the hardest hit in the whole of the Western Cape metropole. Over 1,264 people had to be evacuated, but unfortunately that time it was not logistically possible. As we know, the Huguenot tunnel was closed, the main pass was closed, so we could not reach these people to bring any humanitarian aid. We had a meeting yesterday with the relevant officials, with the traffic officials. They said they will be opening up the tunnel for us, and as you saw this morning, we were the only trucks allowed to go through the tunnel to bring aid to these people. They've been cut off on last week and Wednesday. We brought through for them non-perishable food items, blankets, mattresses, baby care pack, and some personal hygiene items. Our teams are not only in this area today. We are busy in Marikana and Philippi. We are assisting over 600 people. Our teams on the N7 are having a meeting with disaster risk management officials to see how they can reach Vredendal. On Saturday, we reached Citrusdal, where the road was cut off, still cut off. Yesterday, we were in Wuppertal, where the 3 helicopters delivered humanitarian aid to the Wuppertal community and other towns as well. We will be extending our operations for the next few days, as there's many other communities we still have to reach. Disaster risk management teams has informed us that the weather seems to be the rain will be stopping around about Wednesday morning, but the need is still huge. On our database, there's plus minus over 10,000 people that has been affected by the current rainfall.
Ali, I know early on last week, the Gift of the Givers yourselves have made an appeal for assistance, because your resources, as always, is so necessary in times of disasters like this. But also, you were talking to me just now about just general need in communities. People are hungry, people need food. Let's speak to that. I mean, you've been reaching out even before the heavy rain started.
As we know, these people have lost everything, and they are dependable on grants. But most of the documents got washed away. They have to re-register for their grants. That's a process on its own. And hunger has existed in this community. So to see food going out of your house, being washed away, for them it's everything. So there's a huge need for warm blankets at the moment, for non-perishable food items, personal hygiene items. As you can see, some of the children are still walking barefoot here. All their new school uniforms, their school stationery got completely washed away. So once they're back in their homes in the next month or so, we would have to provide them new school uniforms, stationery, and non-perishable food items. There is a huge need for humanitarian assistance even after this disaster.
Ali, thank you so much for taking time out. I know you've been very busy for the past week, but thank you for speaking to us, of course, there from the gift of the givers. Ali Sablé just painting a picture in Zinga in terms of what they've been doing around the Western Cape, the Cape Metropole and other areas, and what they continue doing in terms of providing that disaster relief as well as humanitarian aid. And of course, in a short while, we will be going to try and access that informal settlement where these residents behind me, some of them are being housed at this community or at this church hall, but we understand from some of the members of the community there are still people in those informal dwellings, and we'll certainly try our best to get there to ascertain what the situation looks like at the moment in the Spookiersdorp informal settlement here in Rawsonville.
Thanks, Vanessa, for bringing us the latest update from the Western Cape. She is following that story and will continue to do so.